Hey everybody, welcome to Mob Hammer. I'm Mob, and today I'm here to paint live in front of camera. This has actually been quite some time since I've done a live stream painting session. I haven't really had a lot of time lately, and I suddenly find myself with an abundance of time. And I think that we're in an interesting kind of world right now where I know that people getting laid off or unemployment is a fairly common thing nowadays. And I don't want to sound like a bummer, but I also just want to put out there that it's also filled with a lot of opportunity and, to remind yourself of what you do have and to spend time with loved ones. And yeah, make sure to have time for yourself in between job searching and finding ways to pay your bills. I am very fortunate in that I have a very supportive life and family, and I have ways of navigating this time. But, I still got to stay positive. I still got to make sure that I am staying proactive and I'm staying productive. And so that's kind of what we're doing here today, is being proactive and enjoying things that I enjoy doing, which in this case is painting. So as you see here, I actually have a setup ready to go. I don't know if I'll have, right now, I don't think I have any people on, but for those who tune in afterwards to join the stream or watching a replay, welcome. So yeah, I think something I'm trying to figure out is whether is a couple different paint schemes I'm looking at. I recently got a copy of Space Hulk, and I've been thinking a lot about what I want my Space Angel color palette to be. And there are a couple different options I have. Predominantly what I've been thinking about is a mix of starting either like Zenithal Highlight, which is where you get this result on this guy on the left, or what I've been playing around with is also doing starting off with a black prime and then dry brushing white and then gray over top. Just black and then dry brushing with white, maybe a little bit of gray, building up to white, and then doing a Nuln Oil wash, which is giving me like this blood dark hue, which still kind of really kind of still works out on the tabletop. So we'll see. I'm going to play around a little bit. I have a couple different options here as well. So you're not only going to see me using the brush, you're also going to see me using... Oh, didn't load. Hold on. Where is it? Where are ye? It's not just... There it is. I have my airbrush area over here too, so that will be part of this experience. Feel free to chat, ask any questions. A little bit about myself so you know. I am somebody who's worked in the film and television industry for well over a decade. I also work as a videographer and photographer. Working on film sets, a lot of digital content, which is why I have the gear that you see here. I'm a big nerd, and I take this as a big opportunity to use the tools at my disposal to play, and this is what we're doing. Let me get things ready here. Okay, so let's get back to our overhead. So I'm going to start using my golden maple brushes for dry brushing. Let me get the camera tracking me. There we go. Let me know if for any reason you can't hear what I'm saying. Sometimes my audio is a little funky and I'm still learning how to properly set this up. Hold on. Oh, hold on. That's not where I want to be on camera. And wunderbar. Okay, great. So let's do this. I'm going to start with some of my smaller brush, because this is going to get me into more of the nooks and crannies of one of the miniatures. So we're going to go with our standard marine here. And I'm going to go with, I personally like to play around with more contrast. So I like the look of starting with deep gray to start. Ooh, come on, camera, find me. There you go. I like to start with deep gray to cover up a majority of the miniature, still keeping some of the darker recesses open. But for me, different people have different opinions on how best to dry brush. I've only recently got a little better at it, but still by no means perfect. So feel free to give me some tips and thoughts in the chat if you're so inclined. Oh, hello, Platinum Angel. I think I remember you stopping by before on some other streams. Thanks for coming back. It's been a very long time since I've streamed, and I only recently got more time. So here I am trying to get back into the game, more content creation. I've been lucky to have enough things to make, but it's been mostly focused on shorts, and I found that that's really all I've had time for lately. Mostly because of, you work all day, you come home, it's hard to have some energy to create things, even if like there is a chance to, have like, even though I'm only holding myself up to those standards, it's still something that requires time and energy, which sometimes I don't have. So for me, here, we're going to adjust this a little bit so you can see a little bit easier. Okay, so over here I have my homemade dry palette made from a bunch of random bits I got from other old model kits. You can see some of my leftover remnants of Tau as well. I put the paint, after mixing it up, I put the paint directly on the palette, and I dab a little bit, and then I just wipe off the excess moisture. That's quite a lot. I want there to be more of a dusting, kind of like what you're seeing there. And then when I go into the miniature, this one I'm not too worried to be too conservative about, because I just want to get that gray over, because it will create a nice transition between the blacks and the whites when I use that to highlight eventually. Let me know if you feel like I should get closer. I feel like this just allows for some more flexibility. But if you want to see closer details, let me know. I can probably zoom in a little bit. So you can see now, like, some of it's coming out okay, but it's starting to lose some of the dusting of the gray, so I'm gonna have to re-up a little bit. Yeah, so Platinum Angel, how are you doing? It's been a hot second. Are you working on any fun projects you're working on lately? All right, let's get back to applying. Well, if I can get it to focus up, there it goes. And yeah, so this will take a little bit of time, but I found that like I've done the Zenithal highlight before, where I've had like just airbrushed white with one direction and then airbrushed it a color over top, and it's clean, but I feel like I'm losing some of the definition. Inevitably, I can dry brush over that, but I don't know. I've been playing around with this method, as I was mentioning earlier, for those just tuning in, where I do a mix of slap chop, where I basically dry brush the gray on first. Zombicide DC. Oh, I've heard that game looked pretty cool from everything I've seen. Maybe in time. I'll expand a little bit. Okay, so I like to... people say you want to have a little bit of moisture on the dry brushing, but it's not... I don't know. I found that like there's plenty of moisture in the medium, and I'm sure people might disagree with that, but it works for me. It all works. If you are watching this, please be sure to hit that like button. Any little bit helps a bunch, and I really appreciate it. Any little bit helps. There was a part of me that was almost thinking about doing like a 24-hour stream, because I was like, keep the energy going, be excited, have fun, and spend a lot of time with hobbying. My wife is out of town. She actually had a pre-planned vacation with her cousin. She went to Iceland and is having a wonderful time. She goes by Sassafras, for those who are new to the channel. Sassafras is up in Iceland with her cousin, having a great time. So that means I am alone in the apartment, which means a lot of home improvement projects during the day, a lot of job application projects during the as well in between. But at the end of the day, I get to reward myself with some painting, which is really nice. I do have a bit of a scatterbrained personality and mentality when it comes to having different projects. As you can see here, I also have my Blood Knight that may or may not get some attention. I finally figured out a scheme I like. Let me show you real quick, because I'm pretty proud of this, how it's turning out. So this is like where it looks when it's when I started with the initial airbrush. This I did Zenithal highlight, and then once I finished all my effects, I went with a more aged bronze look, which I'm pretty. I like. You know, it really shows how far like good terrain basing can go, and yeah, there's supposed to be solidarity between this and my Bone Rattle, Death Rattle skeletons, who all kind of have that oxidized bronze look. So, you know, I have that with some others. Oh, hey there, Gary. How's it going? Yeah, 24 hours might be a bit intense. You know, listen, I'm still young technically, but like I'm no spring chicken. You know, I like my sleep. I don't know if there's anything that would actually I could do that would be entertaining enough to stay up for 24 hours, but you know, it's a fun challenge, you know, when there's nothing else going on. Yeah, I'm glad you like it. I really dig it too. I originally did a paint scheme where I followed the more traditional all red route that they did on the box art, but I just I don't know, I had trouble like getting red to look good, and even now I still have trouble with red, so I didn't want to like spend forever doing that because the model kit is already incredibly detailed and tricky. Like you can't really sub-assemble it. The knight is already pre-attached to parts of the horse, and like there's parts of like the remaining like horse skin that's there. It's just like it's a very tricky miniature. So like that's kind of what's taken me so long to finish it. I started painting my spearhead well over a year ago, but I just was so intimidated by like needing to finish these knights. But I think it's time. I think now that I have more of the open time, I should definitely dedicate myself to that. Also, guys, let me know, for those who are sticking around for a while, I have monetization on, but if it ends up being annoying, I might just end up like turning off the ads, because I don't think at this point, if I had like, you know, a couple hundred people watching simultaneously, that might be a different story, but you know, it's not really looking to make money off this. All right, I think that's looking pretty okay, you know. Okay, so then from there, I'm gonna go to my namesake, Matt White, exactly. And let's give a nice little shakeroonie. You know what actually I'm gonna do? Because I still have plenty of deep gray here. So as I was saying, what I'm trying to figure out is what's gonna be my paint scheme for my Blood Angels in the Space Hulk board game. So Space Marines are one thing, obviously, but the other big one is gonna be the Tyranids. Actually, you know what? I think I have a box over here more. Do I want to play around with that? Yeah, okay. Yeah, I'll use it. Okay, so granted, this is a much smaller Tyranid, but you know what? Let's just play around. It's good. Like we have the gray. Let's also play around whether this will be the right choice or not. So getting that all dried up, and let's do that. The only thing that's really annoying about painting on these Tyranids is that the undercarriage of them, the underside, gets very tricky, per se, so I want to be careful. I could just choose to leave it mostly black anyways, and that should be okay. Okay, here we go. Getting out that moisture, getting all that gray on. Sorry, I'm going to turn off my autofocus because I think that's causing some... There we go. Yeah. That's not looking too bad. Get some of the details in there. Gary, how are you doing? Anything new happening in your neck of the woods? So I'm using, as I was mentioning earlier, I have a I work predominantly in the film and TV industry, so I have a lot of camera gear. Camera gear that is incredibly overkill for what I'm doing right now. But basically, yes, it does track me, and you can't quite see it here, but I actually have a little iPad off the side where I can click to focus. As you can see, I can click to focus it when it's working, and it switches from autofocus to manual focus. These are the tools filmmakers have at their disposal. But again, a bit like, again, if anyone who's looking to stream or get into like this kind of stuff, it's overkill. It's very overkill. But I love it, and it's my job, so I have the benefit of being able to write it off for a number of business expenses. Okay. All right, that guy's looking pretty good. Then we have the Space Marine as well, ready to go. Okay, so I'm gonna. Do I want to say? Yeah, I'm gonna clean this off a little bit off the side, and I'm going to. I didn't grab paper towels. Stand by, everybody. I'll be right back. I'm here. I'm here. My wireless still works. All right, and I'm back. If it tracks me still, okay, good. Oh, there we go. All right, so now that I have that situated, I'm gonna go, like I was saying, I'm gonna go back to matte white here, and just give it a nice little shaker-rooney. No one take this out of context. I appreciate it. Oh, God, okay. Okay, so, matte white, same thing I did with the gray. This is like much brighter than the deep gray I just used, so there will be contrast between, oh! Darn it. Okay, that's fine, because that just means I have now more to use. Womp womp. So in that case, you know what? I'm going to, darn it. Happy mistakes, y'all. You know what? This is what I'm going to do. I'm going to kill 2 birds with 1 stone. Or in this case, 3 birds with 1 stone. So I have been also, aside from my Blood Angels color scheme, I have also been wanting to do a Salamander's army. And that would be my main 40K, while the Blood Angels would be purely for Space Hulk. So since we're here, since we have all this paint, we're just going to, we're going to make use of that right now. God, that's so upsetting to have that much paint. It's fine. Luckily, I got a lot of it. Made that wet. Okay. Here we go. Let's try this again. I'm a goofball. All right, so here we go. So yeah, once we just gonna get this, because this will be good, because we're gonna play around with a couple different colors and see how they look, specifically using speed paints through the airbrush. And when you see them through the airbrush, you sometimes lose some of the yeah, yep, that's exactly what the mixing balls there, Gary. Yeah, the issue, time and space continuum brain is non-functioning. Just imagine if it came back after a full workday. So this is the chance to experiment a little bit with different color schemes. Specifically, what I like to do is do this and use speed paints or one-coat paints through an airbrush to get a nice clean finish, especially over flat panels like you see on Space Marines, vehicles, and things like that in your miniature hobby. It's really handy to have an airbrush. It just like makes things a lot cleaner. However, you do list some of the details if you don't like brush it on, because it's not pulling the recesses. And I found the way that you counteract that is then by doing a wash afterwards. So but you have to be careful, because if you do, the wash has similar consistency properties as the one coat paints. However, like they still can run, and then like you get a streaking effect. So you have to be like very careful and intentional with how you do it, and not let it dry before you apply a second coat. I need to try speed. Oh well, hey, stick around. We're going to be doing that shortly. I just need to finish getting these three guys all highlighted with white. So as I said, finally for the second time, for the third time, which is a charm, going back to matte white, which I already have on my dry palette, and I'm going to go with my size 6 brush. By the way, I'm also hawking products, so if you're interested in getting any golden maple brushes, you can get 10% off on your orders by using MOB or MOB at checkout. And you check out the link in my description because, you know, trying to find ways to make things sustainable for a bit. So, all right, but please, you do you. So, wiping off all of my excess here. I get that. Sometimes I like to do on the hand. Yeah, you can kind of see a little bit of it, but it's pretty slight. So we're gonna do it with the recent one. You know, I feel like I need a little bit more. Ooh, algae green. That's not a bad idea. Like I've actually been, you know what? Maybe I'll try that. Maybe I'll see what that looks like here. Ooh, that's fine. Oh man, I think I may have not. I think I may have messed it up. That's okay. It's okay. You know, I'm a strong proponent of like, hey, mistakes are just things you intended to do unintentionally. Right? That sounds smart, right? Probably not. But also like with it being big, it doesn't get into the nooks and crannies as much, which allows for that like more of that natural shading effect. Although this is a bit stronger than I would have wanted, but that's okay. I like to go against the grooves, so that way it creates those raised edges. It allows it to really stand out and do some of your highlighting. Okay, well, that's not too bad. You can see here specifically like where it's getting that edge highlight that will work really well with the speed paints. And you know what? Let me see if I can find algae green. You know what? I think we're gonna try that. We're gonna try that today. So you like doing the light olive green with your salamanders? Maybe I'll give that a shot. Okay. Not bad. Not bad at all. All right, so it was a little too much originally with the initial white, so I'm going to be much more careful the second time I apply it to the next marine, but step by step. Give this a little bit more love. All right, hot diggity dog. Okay, so now let's give a little love to our Tyranid friend here, eh? So again, way too much white paint here, so we're going to have to really wipe off the excesses. And for me, I really should re-up this dry palette. And the way you re-up it is literally just spray paint it black. Just start off again. And technically, like, it still continues to work, but, you know, I like to, if you're using whites or other colors, like, just makes it look a little neat, you know, a little bit neater, a little re-up. Maybe we'll do that today as well for the heck of it. Okay, so, all right. I think this is looking pretty good. Okay, here we go. So I want to be much lighter with this because technically, without using airbrush, this could work really well because you're looking more for the grooves to be filled in. So I don't know, I'm torn if I'm going to use an airbrush on this or if I'm just going to use a brush, which I may. You know, it might be cool to see how that all comes together and just have that as an option. Okay, that's looking pretty good. Okay, gonna get that more of that excess off. No. Get that light dusting going. Cool. Oh, hello there, Revan. Mr. Unemployed. Yes, exactly. Thanks for coming by. Yeah, I mean, like I spent most of my professional career as a freelancer, and this was like one of the first real times like where I was like working as a full-time employee, and I really like I like the format of it. I mean, granted, like there's always stress where it comes. There's always stress attached to every kind of job, but it affords you certain luxuries that are just really nice. I'm sure everyone can relate to being able to have that security. But that's what kind of makes me torn is like I spent so much time as a freelancer, but I think that now that as my wife and I are getting older, we think about what we want of our lives. And I think we would like that consistency. So I'm on the search for other full-time work, trying to see where I can get it. So if anyone has any fun video producer, filmmaking jobs, let me know in the chat. All right, so that guy's looking good. You can see like kind of like it works a lot better when it's not on the smooth. So I want to hit this one more time, but like from the height, just to give it a little bit more. Let's give it a little more kick from above. Yeah. Just like yeah. I like it. Okay, so we got that one. Now let's see if I can do this. Okay, let's see if I can actually start this properly now that I was too aggressive with the last Marine. Ooh, 2-drop. Okay. Gary, I think you've given me an idea. I think I'm going to try that. I'm going to try that after I get this on, because I have those paints. So 3 drops of poppy red and 2 drops of maize yellow to make an amazing blood angel. Okay. Well, we're going to try that out, and the internet will decide if it's good or not. But it sounds pretty cool. This is the time to experiment, to play around, hear the ideas of the community, listen to suggestions, and see what we can come up with. So this one definitely did get a little bit more, but that's okay. I think that's okay. I still see a lot of the shadows, which is a big thing. So I'm not upset by it. Alrighty, so that's looking pretty good. Like a, all right, okay. So now let's take a look at this thing over here. All right, so here we go. This is the Vigostar spray booth. I was sent this to review, which I still need to do a video on, but it's got cool things. Like, look, it can turn on. Look at that. But we're going to, yes, change on that color. And then, oh, check this out. Is that it? Yeah, boop. Add the waterfall feature. Ah, amazing. I need to add more water. Normally, it's more quiet than that. Stand by, everybody. Ugh. Oh, interesting. I guess I didn't add enough water. That's very important. Oh yeah. Be right back, everybody. Slapshot painting, that is correct, Revan. Basically, I'm going to keep talking because I hope you guys can hear me as I move throughout my space, is that I would like to have some more of the, I'd like to have more depth in the edges. I've done Zenithal highlighting before, where I then airbrushed afterwards, but I found that it just wasn't as, I didn't like the definition as much, and I think it has its place. But I've been playing around with using Slapshot to dry, well, basically dry brushing on the details using grays and whites, and then airbrushing so I get like really smooth panels. Granted, I guess I could paint on with a brush, but I've always had trouble with brushing with speed paints. And again, you could always go back to standard acrylics, but then that's a whole other story. So basically, trying my own little mix of slap chopping shenanigans and an airbrush to, you know, make it extra cool, if I'm lucky. Definitely fancy tools. Yes, it's a cool tool, but it's a little excessive. But I think for those who like also do like a lot of artistry at home, they need to make sure they have clean air, or like they do work with other materials, or they're really doing a lot of modeling, then they may actually want to have something like this. There we have it. So much more quiet now. In different colors. Okay. Gonna put away my water jug before I break it, and my wife comes back and kills me from breaking something that she really loves. So yeah. So let me get my regular honky-dory airbrush ready to go. This is not nearly as fancy. This, what I have is something that's just like 100 bucks from Amazon. But yeah, let's see. I'm gonna go with my Iwata Revolution. Cool. All right. Yeah, it's pretty cool. Listen, it's expensive. You can get one. This is like, you can get it for $500. It's expensive. It's a lot. It's a lot. And so I want to be able to promote this and say, hey, I'll get a commission if you buy this. But also I understand that it can be like a hard pill to swallow. And I would probably not have got this if it was not given to me to promote and make a review out of. That being said, I really do love it. My wife, not so much, because it does take up quite a bit of space. But I found that if I use it on the weekends or when I'm alone and I'm just working on my own projects, it can be really great. But let's do this fancy little, recipe you talked about. So we said it was for an Awesome Blood Angels recipe. You were saying maize yellow and poppy red. Okay, so let me find my maize yellow. Okay, maize yellow. Gotta shake that up. And poppy red. There's blood red, bright red, nuclear sun. I know I had this. Where did I? Red. Poppy red. Okay. So this is what we're looking at, folks. These are the fanciness. All right, so this is what we're dealing with. All right, let me see if I can get a better angle of this, because it does require, oh no, some finesse. Listen, I never said that I had finesse. I just joke around a lot and just try to pretend it was intentional. All right, here we go. I got some new comments here. Whose comment? All right. Okay, so I know I'm already painting my hand, but I'm still gonna put on some gloves for my airbrushing. So, excuse me, camera, I'm over here. Yeah, okay, so we said, sorry about the Johnson, the bright side, more time to paint and make content. This is true, TP. More time to, and also think about where I want to take my career, and that's really exciting. And I honestly, this last job I had gave me a lot of confidence to what I can do and how I can thrive in a institution environment. And I'm really excited about what happens next. And yeah, in between my responsibilities of taking care of the home and also obviously applying for more work and looking for it and saving money, I will definitely be spending more time painting and content creating. And again, if anybody has any ideas for jobs they're hiring in New York City, let me know. Okay, so 3 drops of poppy red and 2 maize yellow as I drop them on the floor. Okay, so 3 drops of poppy red. Let's get this nice and shook. Okay. And here we go. Let's go with 1. Okay, 2, 3, 4. I might need a little more than that. Oh no, it's a little bit on. But that's why we have paper towels. And a little bit of maize yellow. I think I gotta work on this a little bit. All right, let me get you a little extra light there so you can see. Okay. Okay, so figuring this out. I think I may have messed up the ratio. Oh, man. Yes, actually, Gary, I have. Thank you, TP, for the good luck. Gary, yes, I have. I've collaborated a little bit with Lifted Ground, who is does a lot of kill team battle reports. I actually did a live stream with him this weekend where we covered the New York Open. So I'll hopefully have a video coming out covering some of the event. It won't be super long, but it will be fun to just kind of show what happens there. But it's in its 4th annual occurrence. Oh, I am liking this. I'm liking the look of this color here. Question is, can I figure out ways to keep it consistent? But I am hoping to get some more collaboration in the future. I also recently got awarded a content creator badge for PAX Unplugged in Philadelphia, so I'll be going there this year, and I'm hoping to find some new people to collaborate with in the very near future. I also have another friend who goes by Lazy Sunday Gaming. They are predominantly a board game and War Machine collective. They host events for people to play War Machine. And yeah, but I do need to expand more. Okay, so we're trying out this recipe. Let's see how this goes. It's a mix of maize yellow and poppy red. I think that the one, I'm gonna get this guy. Okay, so let's try this out. Maybe get focus on, okay, focus up on her. All right, guys, here we go. Wish me luck. Ooh. Ooh, okay. Okay, hold on. I'm liking what this is doing. Let me just get a better shot so y'all at home can tune in a little bit more. All right, here we go. So Ooh, I like it. Hot diggity dog. Look at that bad boy. I like that a lot. I'm going to give that a little bit of a spray here just to. That is looking pretty hot. Let's get under a little better light. Ignore that my scripting. That is looking real solid. Ooh, I am liking that. I am going to do that. Gary, I think you just convinced me on how I should color my blood angels. This is going to be really cool. Thanks for sharing that. That's awesome. Okay, let's okay, so now how do I go about this? Okay, I keep switching to my other desktop. So, here's what we'll do. So I want you to be able to see a little bit of what I'm doing and not just be like, what is going on? I don't know if that works. Okay, let's do this. Okay, so that worked out pretty well. Yeah, Gary, that's awesome. So while you guys are here, let me see if I can show you what I got here. Is it this one? Yeah. Okay, great. So just as a little preview, as I said, I'm camera. I'm over here. Great. So as I was saying, this is all about the Space Hulk game, and these miniatures are really, really freaking cool. This is. Let's see if I can. Yeah, this is just like one of them that is super detailed. It's definitely more retro. I think this is before the Primaris. If you check out my Instagram, I have some really close-up shots of these, and they're just beautiful, super detailed, all from 2014. Although I think they were sculpted in 2009, printed in 2009, but then they had a re-release where they were reprinted in 2014. But that's pretty cool. Although my personal favorite out of these guys is the one who's doing the superhero landing. Although I guess he is technically tearing up the ground, but it's still really freaking cool. I mean, I could start doing that today. Well, let's pause. Let's gonna give it a sec. Gonna let it breathe. I want to finish a full test model before I actually start doing it, because maybe there'll be some more creative inspiration. But I think definitely for the Blood Angels, I'm very happy with that recipe color. So now the next thing, however, is I need to change out the color for something else. Let's go back over to this camera. I love my airbrush, but the problem is, it does require quite a bit of work. You got to have all the tools to clean it out in between colors and not let it get clogged. It can be a pain in the butt, but still makes it very much worth it when batch painting and speed is the name of the game. Nice little thing of water lets me just clean it out pretty quickly. And I don't know if you can see it, but generally what I do for cleaning it out too is do the air bubbles. Usually there's some more excess of red that comes out. Space Hulk. I'm jealous of those models. Space Hulk super fun. I hope they reprint. Yeah, you know what? I don't know why they don't. Many people consider Space Hulk to be one of the most I don't know, it's weird, controversial. I guess they don't consider it to be the best, but a lot of people think of it fondly. And honestly, I think of it pretty fondly. I played with a friend who had used proxy models and had some of the game pieces, but not all of them. And I really enjoyed it. And I was like, this would be a fun project to really do up these miniatures, paint them up well, and play them with friends who've never played Warhammer. Like, I think even my wife would be really good at it. Mostly because, like, you know, as a Space Marines player, as a Blood Angels pilot in those games, your role is much harder. You're going to have a much easier time if you're playing the aliens, which, if I play with my wife when she gets back, she'd probably still beat me. But it's nice to be able to, like, I just remember having a really good time playing it, and which is what inspired me to pick it up in the first place. And yeah, the miniatures look really freaking cool. Okay, so let's see. Red is looking nice and clear now, so that's good. My little paint bucket of water over there. Now, who said algae green? Who says algae green is there? Anyways, okay, we're gonna try algae green. We have a nice little shaker-rooney. For those who are just joining in, as I've been saying, I was recently laid off from work, and so now I'm currently job hunting, but trying to keep things all positive and upbeat as I figure out the next stages in my life. And in between applying for work, being sure to get my exercise by going on a walk during the day, I'm also on the hunt job searching. So if anyone has a need of a videographer, photographer, producer, you know, shoot me a message on Instagram. Meanwhile, you can also pick up some of the, you can check out my affiliate links in the description if you feel so inclined. Or maybe a little tip, but that's okay. You'll just pay for my coffee. But we all know the economy is crazy right now, so I won't think less if you can't. All right, so we're going to try algae green for this salamanders recipe that was suggested. Let's see, what do I have? Yeah, I think that's pretty good. So this is going to go straight algae green. So I've been trying, the thing that's tricky is that I've been trying to figure out a good consistency that works with it, that doesn't make it look like Dark Angels, because Dark Angels is very dark, obviously, but salamanders are brighter, but like the more I look at them, there's just like a different level of saturation to it. So experimenting, definitely experimenting. Let's give ourselves a little bit more. There we go. Gonna get a little tighter on that bad boy. All right, so we're trying the algae green speed paint on this guy, and we're gonna see what we think. And away we go. It's interesting. It's definitely more, the algae green definitely has more coverage to it, so it actually seems to go over, cover up some black areas too, but it's not bad. I'm thinking I may have not cleared out all the excess liquid in my last batch, but I don't necessarily mind that. It gives it like a nice, it gives it an interesting look. So we're gonna give that a few minutes. We're gonna give that some time to dry. We're gonna do that same with the Blood Angel I have going on here. We're gonna switch this over to we're gonna let these guys dry out a little bit as they do their thing. Now, while that's going on, we're gonna look back at my, we're gonna look back at this Tyrannid. Now, I could, so we could brush it on, although I am really tempted to just use speed paint and see how that works. Because it just like it, these miniatures, like when you have the benefit of grooves and less flat panels, you can, you kind of want speed paint to be able to do its thing. That being said, you know, I want to be careful not to let it overflow too much, because you do end up, yeah, just like if you have, you will get less border control. So I want to be really careful how I do this, because between the carapace and I don't know, exoskeleton. I don't know what you call it. Bug stuff, bug juice, bug things, bug skin. So I want to think about this. So I think that I prefer the behemoth color scheme. So if I was going with that, then again, is that weird? It might be weird because I don't want to, because I want them to look different than the Blood Angels. So I don't want them to be red. So probably if I was to think about it, I probably prefer the Gene Stealers are that purplish look, aren't? Isn't that? I should probably hold on. If anybody in the chat has a good Gene Stealer rec, let me know. I know I'm using a Tyranid for this, but at the end of the day, you know, there's overlap. Let's be honest, there's overlap. It's like that. Yeah, so it's like that purplish. Got a couple different. Oh, you know, yeah, purple swarm, and then like the bluish carapace. Ooh, do I want to like? This could be cool. Let's take a gander here. All right, everyone, bear with me as I figure this out. Okay. Oh, I mean, okay. Hold on. Let's see if I can. I'm going to switch this over to y'all in the chat. All right. Just don't mind my script for my Soul Blight. So here we have. Yeah. So here we have the Gene Stealers, and they have like. This is a good example. So like, I dig this color scheme. It's like that light purplish, pinkish look, in that like very dark green blue. This is tricky. So I could do Raging Sea. Raging Sea is that dark enough though? I think I need something darker. So maybe like Beowulf Blue, and then a kind of darkish, like it's kind of like a light darkish purple. Pastel lavenders, no, that's insane. But I feel like Hive Dweller Purple is too dark, but I could add more highlights onto it. Tricky. Okay, you know what? We're going to try winging it. You know what? Yeah, I'm going to try Purple Swarm and then Beowulf Blue. This will be interesting, but let's see what happens, everyone. Okay, so won't use my regular palette. We're going to switch over to this handy dandy thingamabob palette over here. And you know what? We're going to start with Purple Swarm as the base for the skin. And then from there, we'll go on to painting the carapace. Okay, here we go. You know what I also need too? Here we go. I need something because my hands will hurt if I focus. So the only thing is I want to be careful about using my nicest brushes, because the one coat paints will ruin them. So generally you want to use, because like if it ends up getting into the ferrule, it can end up causing separation. Yeah, I agree with edge highlighting. That might be pink, but maybe I can dry brush more on it. We'll see. Let's try. Yeah, I want to try this. I want to try using one of these brushes that I only recently got. Not as fancy, but I'm going to give it a go. So, okay, that's right. Now we're getting into brushing territory. So we said the purple goes onto, wait. Yes, it goes on the skin bit. So let's try it out. Oh, okay, I need a bit more. It's not that wet. Okay. Come on, keep that focus. The edge highlighting is indeed a pain, but sometimes it's worth it. Or as I said before, maybe I can do a little bit of a dry brushing action. Okay. And again, this is not very representative of what it will be on the Gene Stealer because there's a lot more. I feel like the Gene Stealers have a lot more. It's like the purple bits are only the exposed joints and hinges of their armor. Oh, hello from Europe. Hello, Lily Strumpet. I hope all is going well. Just doing a little bit of painting over here in the US of A. How is it over in Europe? Okay, let's take a gander, see. I think this is okay. You know, that's pretty cool. Having like 12 concurrent viewers at the moment, or 13. It goes back and forth a little bit, but thank you guys for sticking around. It's cold. Oh man. I imagine for those who can't tell, I might know Lily Strumpet. I have no doubt it's probably very cold where you're at right now. Almost icy, a somewhat icy land, if I knew any better. So, okay, so I'm actually kind of surprised. Like I don't know whether it's the paint consistency, it's the type of brush because it's a bit drier, but it's actually like allowing me to control the speed paint a lot better than I initially thought. So that's a pleasant surprise. I would not be able to do this if I did it through the airbrush, but it's okay. Howdy, 30 seconds remaining. How goes it? 30 seconds remaining of what, though? That is the question. And I'm afraid to know the answer to that. What happens after 30 seconds? Dun, dun, dun. Exactly. So let's see. Let's do, yeah, I feel like this goes here. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah, this is the good stuff. Anybody watching any good anime lately? I ended up so I was a little dubious at first, and I can't pronounce it, but there's this anime I'm watching that has to do with trash. It's surprisingly like good. I thought it was gonna be gimmicky, but like it's incredibly visual. It's got a really unique art style and some incredible like heartfelt moments. And I saw one that specifically talked about painting and creativity, and it made me cry. It made me cry, guys. I was inspired, and I was like, I need to paint tonight. It's an old, okay, so 30 seconds remaining. It's an old reference to a Halo game where me and my friends came back in 30 seconds. Heck yeah, comeback. That's what I'm talking about. I love that. But it's something G, and I forget what the translation is, but it's really good. Oh, hey, Plasma Wisp, really? Oh my goodness, you're going back to the old school. I gotta say, the way that I've been seeing how apparently Ash's last fight of the his series, his run, is pretty cool. So it does make me kind of want to see it, but I don't know if I can I don't know if I have the patience to sit through it. But it is nice to kind of have it in the background. Yeah, Gary, that's exactly what it is. For those who are looking for a great anime show, highly recommend it. I was very surprised. It's great combination of CGI and traditional animation. It's just it's very good. Not at all what I was expecting previously. But yeah, so that purple is looking pretty hot right now. Great. So now let's just go right to the. I don't know why I'm still wearing this rubber glove. Okay, so now we got that purple. Let's go with Beowulf blue. Actually, does that have... Yeah. Great. All right, goodbye, Lily Strumpet. Thanks for stopping by. Sweet dreams. And I can say that to her because we're married. All right, Beowulf blue. Here we go. So let's see if it behaves the same as Purple Storm. Like, okay. Yeah, this brush like surprisingly works really well with the speed paint. That's pretty freaking awesome. I dig it. This is great. So yeah, for those who are tuning in, I'm basically trying to figure out my paint scheme for my Blood Angels that are in the Space Hulk box. I have them built. I'm ready to play, ready to go, but I don't have them painted, and I feel like it's heresy to leave them unpainted. They are a historical piece of GW and Warhammer history, and I owe it to them to finish painting them. So bit by bit. So, all right. So basically, for those tuning in, again, Purple Swarm was used for the skin, and then for the carapace, I'm using Beowulf blue as well as like its jaw. I just think that's a nice little effect there. This is, yes, I know it's not a gene stealer, but you know, fleshiness, trying to figure out what colors I like. It's a good little test, you know. And I think it works because I want my Blood Angels to have a bit more of a... I want them to stand out on the tabletop. And while I did like the idea of having a behemoth paint style, it's just that I want them to be distinctive from... I want them to be very distinctive from the Blood Angels. Wow. Okay. I don't know. I'm not. Yeah. I guess this brush works better. Yeah. I'm very surprised at how well this brush is working. I've had a lot of bleed through before in other brushes. This is an Elegoo brush I got in a paint set that I was also supposed to review. Has some great starter tools for 3D printing. It's a little limiting, but it's not bad. Not using real blood to paint Blood Angel. Well. Still early in the night. Yeah, I'm digging. But yeah, this Elegoo brush actually works very well. I don't know whether it's like it's not quite flowing as well as other brushes I've seen, but like it works for the. It definitely works a bit more for speed paint. Just very surprising. Like this. Heck yeah. Not using, I mean, yeah. I'm sure there's some person who thought that that would be cool. Just did a little drop of something just to like, oh, look at me. I painted them with my blood, sweat, and tears. Although honestly, as fellow hobbyist miniature painters, I'm sure are aware of, we have cut our fingers numerous times for our hobby. X-Acto knives, clippers, you name it, just absolutely awful, which is why I like to keep extra band-aids nearby me when I'm painting. But yeah, I'm pretty excited about being able to explore with things creatively. finding ways to take the tools and skills I've learned over the last 8 months to find a new role and to basically think about the trajectory, the next steps in my life. And I'm sure like that's a common theme for a lot of people. You know, do you want to have kids? Do you want to like stay in the career you're on? Do you want to buy a home? Do you want to move or change your living situation? You know, there's a lot of factors, and like I think the older you get, the more you start like thinking about changes, and you know that can be scary for a lot of people. For me, I get really excited and rejuvenated about the idea of changes. And especially with somebody that is there to support you, and I'm very lucky to have that. Shout out to my amazing wife, Sassafras. But you know, we all just soldier on the best we can, and it's filled with highs and also filled with lows, and that's what makes it beautiful. And sometimes the lows suck, but they will pass in one way or another. And it's all about how you're able to deal with it. That and therapy also helps a lot, guys. Big proponent of therapy. This one's a little tricky because I spilled over a little bit on that little knee pad, but that's okay. We're going to clean that up a little bit. I think that's okay. So I'm okay. I'm feeling okay with this. Although the one thing I realized is a little bit of a bummer is I don't have any purples per se to edge highlight some more of this guy, but that's okay. I mean, like I don't mind this. This is a good start. I think we're trying to figure out how I will do these gene stealers. Like just seeing like that blue and purple combination, I think like that works for me. Now it's just going to figure out like how far do I want to like do the highlights? How much do I want to like add extra details? I think what we're going to do is give this time to dry for a bit, and then we will come back and try to see if we can dry brush some highlights onto it. But that's not a bad start. Not a bad start, all things considering. The claws, you know, I feel like black. Are they normally black? Hold on. I mean, yeah, like the claws here seem black. On Tyranids, they're a little bit different, but I'll probably stick to black. Although, you know what I should do? Is now that I see that, I'm going to give another little bit right here. Create some separation between the claw and the other stuff. Although I think I made a mistake earlier, but that's okay. That's okay. We'll revise it. And it's okay if it's a little messy here because I'll inevitably be able to paint over it with another acrylic. I think it's okay. All right, let's go with that. He already has like white teeth, so we'll stick with that for now too. Okay, so we're gonna give this guy a little bit of a break. Hey, slacker at large. Have a great dinner. Catch you later, and have a good evening. So now that that guy is gonna dry for a little bit, we're gonna go. Let's take a look at what we got here. So, what? Extra layer security. Okay, verify it's me. It's definitely me. Okay. Hold on. It's asking me to verify my PIN for some reason. Okay, I don't know why. So one second, I'm having a weird thing where it's asking me to verify. Okay. Weird. Okay, I'm back. Have I considered using AI to break down the color for the miniature? I mean, I've thought about some things like that, but like it's also I just how I learn as an individual. Sometimes like that doesn't quite work for me, or I don't ingrain it. Like I need to actually see it come together. So really quick, this is how the algae green looks on this marine that could become a salamander paint scheme. And I think it is a dark start, but I think that there's definitely room to build on this and create more highlights. And I like how I think I ended up thinning it down a little too much, but it's not bad. It's different. It's different than my other scheme. So the last time like I did a salamander, I got like a really vibrant coat here, but I could always build up more to that. But this is still all experimenting. I'm still figuring out like what I like and what makes the most sense, and also like what's going to be the most enjoyable. That's like really the most important thing is how to like make sure it's fun and enjoyable. Um, oh, I guess I can turn this off for now. So let's take a gander here. Then we also have this, which, oh my goodness, I really do like how this turned out. I think I'm actually going to focus on this Blood Angel first, because, yeah, it's in theme with what I'm trying to figure out, and all that jazz. So wet palette is good to go. So what I found that I like to do is, yeah, like go over this with a null wash or a black wash, which are more to center. Algae green can also be used to paint the wrap, whichever. This is true. Okay, that's fair. That's fair. That's okay. 30K is still fun to play. It's interesting because looking at them, they almost kind of look like. Here we go. Looking at them, it almost kind of looks like they could be that Death Watch color, but I'm gonna build up to it. I'm gonna build up on it. You know what? I'm gonna play around with it and see what happens. But first, we'll come back to that. We're gonna use some black wash. Fortunately, all I got is right now all I got is the Pro Quill black wash, which works really well. But I have been I am an army painter stain at the moment, but I don't have any black washes from them. So for now, it's what else I got. Cool. So give that little great. Okay, so this I'm going to go back to my. Okay, I got a lot of stuff in front of me. Maybe too much stuff. Okay, but that's okay. Okay. Okay, so here we go, everybody. Loading up that fancy little black wash. I think I want to give it. Okay, here goes nothing. This always scares me the first time because I'm just like, how's it going to turn out? Is it going to do what I want it to do? But as long as I am intentional with it and I don't over wipe it, it does what I want it to do. The trick is not to make it too runny, so I try to like get it. There it is. There we go. Make sure that stays in focus. Now we're talking. So yeah, it's very subtle. It's almost just like a little staining. None of that coffee staining that you get if you just go all the way on it. This is just basically helping add a little bit of definition, filling in the cracks a little bit, making those a little darker. Okay. What's this? Why am I having an alarm going off? Oh. All right. So okay, here we go. I'm gonna do some of that action. I feel like I need to brighten this up a little bit so you can see more of the details. There we go. All right, going through and, oh, I think I added too much there. That's okay though. We're just gonna spread that out a little bit more, get that excess out of there. Got a little too excited, and that's okay. Just little happy mistakes that we'll make intentional. Digging that. So now let's go more full frontal. Not bad. Not bad. Like again, like I want to, yeah, that's it. Apply it the side of my brush and just, yeah, just bring it in. Just, it's all like a single film. Like a film, like a single filter that's been put over the miniature. Gives it a nice little grunge without changing it too much. Just rooting it a little bit more in its own reality. Okay, that's working. I feel like no, that's from the shading. That's fine. So now we start working on the above pieces. Again, with anything that's much more thin, liquidy kind of paints, you want to make sure that it doesn't get up to the pommel. You want to keep it below, otherwise you will ruin your brush. That's true of washes, it's true of one-coat paints, speed paints, contrast paints, what have you. And it's a really quick and easy way to ruin your brushes. Oh yeah, I love Nuln Oil. Inevitably, it is just a black wash, which other companies make too. But it is very well known for that grim dark look that everyone is used to. And I'll be honest, it's so funny. It took me a while to figure out that grim dark. For some reason, I thought grim dark was grimy, and that's not necessarily what it is. It's more, for those tuning, it's more for like the traditional. It's like how the Games Workshop painters typically paint the miniatures. Very clean, very detailed, very neat kind of painting. And it's cool. Just it's a very specific style. Some people really like it. I like the look of it. I don't know if I could be that kind of painter. It's fun. Maybe we'll see. Maybe it'd be fun to try doing more of a grimdark style. But I don't feel like I have the neatness for it. All right, so this is when even more. Yeah, getting that bad boy on there. Yeah, so you can see like it starts to, you want to be careful about letting it pool too much. You want to make sure there's consistency. But right there, it's looking like I'm getting good definition there, which is nice. If you guys are stopping by and you haven't done so already, please be sure to hit that like button. It helps more people see it, spread the word, and get my name out there. If you'd be so kind. All right, so got that detail. Let's keep that focus. And then let's go on the Aquila. Let's get the chest. Oh, it needs a little bit more black wash to do the job. Ooh, maybe too much. That's okay. We're just gonna spread it out a little bit. The good thing, the thing about the Blood Angels is that it's gonna be, I think it's black or gold. I'm gonna have to look that up on the internet. So Which primer best for red? So it depends. I mean, if you are going to be using speed paints or one coat paints, you are going to want to use a lighter color. Otherwise, depending on the speed paint, they're usually very transparent and they won't show up. If they have more pigments, they might end up tinting at best black. But like for like thing like a red, so for red, red and pink, I would definitely do either a gray or a white straight primer if you're doing standard acrylics. For black, I mean, gray is not a bad place to start. Or just, a black primer. Oh, that was too much. Gotta wipe that excess off. It's not the worst thing in the world. It should turn out pretty good. Get that up in there and that flamer. Yeah, it's a flamer. And yeah, it's like, okay, I am liking this look. Maybe this is, I was saying before I'm not very good at the grimdark style, but this is actually might be kind of close to that. You think about the details, the neatness. I'm not saying that I'm being that neat per se, but it's close in essence. Oh, too much, too much, too much. All right, let's clean that up a little bit. No, okay. Let's see. Okay, that's not the worst thing in the world. We'll let it dry up a little bit. And let's go into the pack. And yeah, this is what's tricky with with washes is you don't want to overload your brush with these flat panels because it will look streaky and messy. And you don't want that to be the case. You want it to look neat and clean, unless, you are trying to grime it up. But even then, grime has to look like actual grime. It can't just look like you did paint it on. Ish, That's at least what the goal is. Sometimes you got to keep playing around, though. All right, here we go. Putting that back on. It's not bad. When I first started thinking about, streaming on internet stuff, I contemplated, should I do video games as well? Could that be a thing? And I tried to do a little bit of streaming on Twitch, but, it's whatever. But I have started playing some video games recently that I am a huge fan of. I finished the first Death Stranding, and I am now playing the second one, and oh my goodness, I really enjoyed it. Since this guy is close support, isn't his helmet supposed to be blue? Well, darn it! I guess he does now. Now that you pointed it out, I guess I'll have to. That's fine. I luckily have a lot of blue to use, so we will do that. Cool. So we're gonna let that dry before we do anything excessive. And let's look back. Let's take a gander at our friend here. We'll go back to our Tyranid friend. And yeah, I'm gonna muss it up a little bit. I'm going to see if I can add alternative blues to it. Barren blue. think Aegis Aqua. Gotta give that a nice, oh my goodness, I can't even hear. Oh man, that is, oof. Oh no, I don't even have yellow. Well, I should hopefully have yellow soon, but you might be right. Whoa, is this just, This is quite unfortunate, so I might have to pick out the big guns. For, I think it was Christmas one year, my wife got me a Theragun because my back was hurting. And honestly, I love this thing. It's really great. You can get cheaper percussion massages, whatever. But what I also found out is that I could 3D print, a little paint holder and mount it onto the Theragun and then put it in like so. I don't know how much, boom, and then just shake the hell out of it. I don't hear the mixing balls though, so that makes me a little bit nervous. You gotta keep your hand up so that way it doesn't fly out, but I don't hear the mixing balls, so that's a little concerning. But we're gonna try it, and maybe it just, maybe it just like is thick, but it's not completely hardened. Let's take a look. Oh, I mean, that seems fine. Nothing crazy. I guess I should put it on the dry palette, but that's okay. We're gonna just take a little bit of that. Take a little of that. And back on the palette here, we're gonna get off that excess blue. Did I take too much off? I may have taken too much off. Well, let's try it. Okay, not the worst thing in the world. Comparison, one. All right, let's try this again. Okay. Okay, here we go. Doing a little blue love. Eh. Oh boy. Okay, that didn't turn out that bad. All things considered. So in furnace, our fire support, so the helm should be blue. Or something blue helmet too. So that kind of worked out. That's not the worst thing. The biggest thing I want to avoid is making it look chalky, which I think it doesn't, at least according to my eye. But that's not that bad. I'm okay with that, especially since this is just basically the very early on coat of paint I've applied. So maybe like, maybe I try adding something to the purple now. And I think for the purple, it could be some sort of purplish blue, which I think I might have. I mean, ultramarine blue is a strong purplish blue. So this might actually be what I use to highlight the purple skin, the purple whatever it is. In this, I can very much easily hear the mixing balls. So we'll try this, and then And we're gonna paint the Space Marine helmet blue. We're gonna do it. I want to see what that looks like. It may not be blue on the Space Hulk miniatures, but that's okay. I still want it to look like a really cool looking miniature. So going back here onto the dry palette where I should have done it in the first place. We're gonna add the blue there. We're using ultramarine blue, again, a strong purplish blue. Because I don't actually have any of the purple range yet. I just ordered them today. We'll see when they come in. But when they get here, I will have more purpley controls. But for now, we're going to try this. Okay, so went really small because I want to be controlled with these details. And I'm hoping that I don't mess this up. And if I do, then that's okay. This is why we're experimenting, to try things out. So that is not really doing much of anything, if I'm being honest. Nope, that's not doing much of anything. Okay, well, that was a good experiment to know. Regardless, that combination of using Beowulf Blue with Aegis Aqua, I think is a really good combination for the hard armor bits that I'll be using with the Gene Stealers. And I think I like the purple. I just need to get some lighter purple acrylics, which will, I think, develop this more. But I think that this is a great inspirational start for where I want to take it. I'm going to put this guy off the side for a bit. We will play with him later. Maybe not tonight, but I think he's good. Yeah, so we're going to keep letting my my Blood Angel in training get a little bit more. So we were saying that algae green is good for 30K salamanders, which, yeah, I can see that. Like, you know, it's good to see. At first, I was kind of thinking it looks very like Astra Militarum. Ooh, you could mix ultramarine blue with one of the darker colors and the cool reds to get purple. Okay, so let's see. Ultramarine blue. Okay. So Gary, coming with more ideas, is mixing ultramarine blue with one of the darker colors in the cool reds triad. So, okay, so cool reds. I have Basilisk Red and I have Wyvern Fury. I'm going to try Wyvern Fury for this one, which is the second in the cool reds triad. And let's see how this turns out. This is going to be interesting. Yeah. Oh, yes. I am already liking where this is going. We're going to get these mixed up a little bit. Yes. As I... Oh, yeah. So the question is, I need to get something lighter. Okay, that worked out very well. Okay, so it is a little bit lighter. I feel like I need to add in, I'm going to add a little bit of pure red to brighten it up a little bit. Uh-oh. There we go. Get a little pure red in there. Mix it up a little bit. And when we mix in the brighter red, let's see if we can get a slightly brighter purple. That might be too red now. Hold on. Oh man, I am going to ruin this brush. So let me add some more of that blue again. And all this just to play around with some color combinations. I'm gonna grab a less important brush, or one that I know I won't be sad if I ruin it, because it's already kind of ruined. Yeah, okay. Okay, so we have like this. I'm liking this purple. I like the purple overall. It's just it just needs a tiny bit of gray, a little bit of gray. Is that too? That's too dark. That's too much. A little bit of. I'm going to desaturate if I do. So I'm going to add a little bit of brain matter beige to try and give it a little bit. Just give a tiny. Let's put it off the side so it doesn't come barreling out. Which, unfortunately, it seems like I got it stuck a little bit. So this is when I like to bring out my handy paperclip tool. Give it a little shook, clear that little clog, and then should be back in business. Oh, okay. Oh, okay. That's great. So just give that a little bit. A little bit. Yes. Yes, young Padawan. That's a nice look. Okay. Thank you again, Gary. Great idea. I mean, you know, I should be thinking more about mixing my colors. But what can I say? It's a skill that I haven't really relied on that much or thought about. And I'm forgetting that I have such a variety of colors now that I can make a lot of these myself, which is really cool. And I think a whole part of the process that I've been neglecting. So cool things to think about and consider and learn, you know? So, okay, let's try this. Okay, so now that I have some of this purple, we're going to try and build up some new highlights on this guy, because yeah, we can. Why not? So it's not going to be the most smoothest thing, but I just want to give this guy a little bit of life on certain areas. And that's just, you know, just a little bit of edges here and there, just to bring it up. Nothing crazy, just a little bit of love. And I feel like I might eventually want to add another pass of it that will be brighter as well. But for now, we're just going to add a little bit. Especially on the raised upper areas. Get these definitions. I'm kind of digging. That's not bad. Not bad, because it's a very it's a bit more of a subtle kind of jump up, which is good because it allows me to build up on it more, which is kind of what I like to do with layering anyways. Just like slowly build up on those highlights and have that texture, that separation from the higher areas and the low areas. Cool. Not bad, not bad at all, Gary. Thank you so much for that. That was a great, fun little recommendation. Now we're going to try giving a little bit more. Another layer of highlights on above. Mixing a little, as you can see, mixing in a little bit more white here. Just give it a little extra, but not too much because you do lose some saturation. Heck yeah. Heck yeah, guys, here we go. Now we're cooking. Now we are cooking. Okay. Now with this, we give a final little highlight, a subtle highlight layer, and just little little sections, just to like give it a little, another extra subtle jump. Cool. That's fun. That's really fun. Cool. Yeah, I guess, while I'm here, I'm also going to, yeah, I might as well also paint some of the base here, which had these purples, which I'm just going to, actually, no, you know what? I feel like these are more of the color of the carapace, so they should be that Beowulf blue. Doing that little Beowulf. Cool. And there we go. Cool. Just give a little, oh, nope, that was wrong. That was wrong. That was the wrong color in the wrong area. That's fine. Guys, I think we figured out my gene stealer scheme and how to make it happen. Just to help give you guys a little bit of a visual. So, where's a good one? Yeah, we'll do this guy. We'll do this guy. So here's one of the gene stealers, unprimed, just off the sprue built, holding a little Terminator helmet in his hand, or her hand. Can't be too sure. Don't see any genitalia, can't tell. And that will be, this gene stealer will have a similar color scheme to what this guy is. And I think that's going to be really cool, and I can add extra highlights too once I get more purples, or playing around that color combination that Gary helped me with. So I'm stoked for that, guys. So now let's go back to our blood angel. Gave him time to dry. Looking pretty not bad. Pretty not bad. I'm gonna go. You could thin the Beowulf to glaze over the carrot sunrise glaze to unify the base and highlight. You could thin the Beowulf blue to glaze over the carrot sun as a glazed. I'm gonna let that dry, and I'm gonna try that out, Gary. So far your batting average is 100, so that all sounds great. So now, I guess with this guy, we said blue would be for his helmet. So I'm going to, I want to give, we already have ultramarine out. We're going to go with ultramarine blue for his head, because why not? And then we'll pop back over to the gene stealer once it's had some more time to dry. Okay, here we go, everybody. So, get my brush nice. Too watered. Okay, here we go. So this will be a bit of a different look, but I'm hoping it all still stays very much rooted in the paint scheme of this miniature, but it still requires me to be very neat as to not mess up any of the clean work that's been done so far. So hopefully I can keep it thin enough to keep all the details while at the same time not letting it drip in places where it shouldn't be. And that in itself takes a little bit of a steady hand. Loving your streaming setup. Oh, thanks, Mar. Hey, thanks for coming by, Martin Orlando. Thank you. Yeah, so originally I only had my FX3. It's a Sony FX3. It's a cinema camera. But I wanted to expand to doing more photography. So I also picked up another Sony camera that also functions as my second camera. So I can basically switch between the two of them, predominantly like when I want to go over to do my airbrush and keep the stream going as smoothly as possible. And then of course I have my little stream camera above that you can see me on. Hello. Yeah. So this is going to require, actually it's not bad that it had the red underneath. It kind of, and as a thin layer, it kind of works, which is really cool. I'm almost tempted to also like switch this to my crazy lens so you can see some more of the details, because I feel it's a little far. I might do that. Yeah, screw it. I'm gonna try it. So I'm gonna let that helmet dry a little bit. We're going to go down on this camera for a few minutes while I bring out the big boy. Now, what's the big boy, you ask? The big boy is the probe lens, and it's a very long lens, but it allows you to get super close, and it can be really tricky with focusing sometimes. So you have to be very mindful and careful of your setup. So here we go. Make sure I don't have any paint I'm getting on my camera, because that would be really frustrating. Removing that, and then putting this on. Yes, it looks insane, but it looks really cool on camera. Okay, so what I would do is, let's just do that. Yeah. So we're going to switch this out so you have another light source, which in this case, oh, that's not working. Ugh, okay. So many things. Okay, here we go. Okay, and then, boom. Welcome to the silliness. Okay, so, okay. Okay. Like I said, it's a little ridiculous, but, oh hey, we're up to 18 now, that's great. So this is basically, I can get super close, as you can see here, if you want to see all of the crazy details and all of its excellence. It's pretty crazy, but it works very well when you know how to use it. But it does require a number of, is that a thing in the lens? Ugh. It requires some finessing for sure. But once you get the hang of it, it is a great tool. Just, again, requires some finessing. Yes, much to the chagrin of some of, cohort sharing spaces. But I am a big tech guy. I mean, honestly, again, I had all of this camera stuff before I started miniature painting, and yeah, I make use of the tools I have that I use for work, and I'm fortunate that they run in parallel to each other. But while we're also there, I'm gonna let that dry a little bit. While that dries, we're gonna pull back out our Gene Stealer friend. Here we go. And now, based off the recommendation of yeah, it's wild once you get really close. You can see just what's been done so far. You can see that the highlighted purple I made did get a little, you lost a little bit of the definition there. It is a bit desaturated, but let's play around a little bit. So we've played, okay, so let's go back. You thin the, thanks, Martin. Thin Beowulf blue to glaze over the carapace armor. So that's true. I could try that out. So let's grab some handy dandy speed paint medium. And then some of the Beowulf blue. Beowulf blue. Where did I find is short circuiting? I know it's all here. Where did Beowulf? Ah, I put it away. So Beowulf blue mixed in a little bit with, let's see, so you can see what's going on here. So we're going to basically add some, we're going to thin down Beowulf blue with some speed paint medium to try and make a glaze. So giving that a good old shakeroonie. Little speed paint medium. We're gonna make ourselves a little glaze and see how this works out. I'm not really great with glazes though, so this will be a learning experience for us all, guys. You know. I don't know if we know. I feel like I shouldn't use this brush. I should use another one of my cruddier brushes. Follow my own advice. Yeah, we're going to give this a nice little. I'm gonna try this glazing action. Now, you know what? I'm nervous about using it, but I feel like the only way I'm going to get better at glazing is just by doing it. And nothing lost, nothing gained. Is that something like that? I don't know all the sayings, guys. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just kind of like a just try it out kind of guy and learn from there. So screw it. Let's add some more medium. Keep it thin. Keep it glazy. Yes, Revan, you're completely correct. These are Neurogaunts that I'm painting. It's just that they have a similar style to Gene Stealers because, you know, they are genetically related. So I wanted to have a representation of what the Gene Stealer color pattern could be before I actually start painting up my Space Marine, my Space Hulk Gene Stealers. So, but that's the idea at least. We'll see if that actually works. So I thin this down. I feel like I'm like super paranoid that it's not thinned down enough. I'm going to give it a little bit more. All right, we're going to give this a go. But yeah, Martin, feel free to reach out if you ever want to know the ridiculous toys I use. There's obviously also budget options too, aside from these shenanigans. So, okay, so I tried thinning this down. We're gonna go for it and see what happens. Here's hoping, friends. It's okay, because worst comes to worst, I'll just... Worst comes to worst, I mean, I'll honestly just go over it again. Not the worst thing in the world. Glazy, glazy. Only in the spring I'm buying a new desk. Yeah. Desk makes a big difference. One of my biggest problems when I was, getting back into painting was just being able to sit for long periods of time and being comfortable. And, I got a sit to stand desk. I have an uplift desk. I know I'm, again, hawking more stuff, but honestly, big change for me, especially when you're 6'3". If you want to more saturated purple skin, you could apply a bright purple glaze, such as speed paint. Possibly consider adding another lighter highlight to the skin prior to the glaze. Okay. Let's give it a go. So we added the glaze to the carapace. But now we're gonna try. We're gonna go try this again. Let's give another brighter layer to highlight before we add that next purple glaze. So you can kind of see it in the in my lens. Yeah. That's the good stuff. Yeah. I mean, yeah, I could use some better lamps too. I mean, I have like film lights, but the problem is sometimes they're a little too, not only are they overkill, but they're also like a little bit difficult to control for more smaller, minute painting. I mean, the red grass ones are pretty cool. Standing desk was such a game changer. I mean, I got a big one, so it's it could have been smaller. My wife agrees that I should have just gone with a smaller one, but I really wanted something where I could have everything: my computer, the computer, the spray booth I have. It was just, I wanted it all to be able to be out or have a place where I could switch between one or the other fairly quickly, and it works really well. The only problem is now we need to figure out how to get a couch into this room so we can have a place for guests to stay, because I agree, it is not fair that I have taken over this space with all of this. That's, good call on the lighter purple. I was worried that like it was taken away from it, but now that like it's kind of coming on, it's definitely, I see the appeal of it. And then I add the glaze, it's gonna make it will make a difference. So maybe I went too far here, but that's okay. Get a little cleanup action. A little purple there to clean that up. Yeah, close enough. Okay, so we're going to give that a little bit to dry. But so far, it's a little shiny, unfortunately, when you're looking on this light, because it does have a light on it, but that's what we're looking at the moment. You can still see some of the glaze drying, so it's going to look a little extra gloss, but once that dries, I do see, oh, what did I lose? Oh, that's fine. I lost one of my lights. That's fine. That's why I have others. We're just gonna, I had the overhead light, I had at 10%, so I'm just gonna bring it up to 50. That's fine. It's fine. It's fine. Look, everything's in focus. Okay. Let's take a look at my blue buddy over here. My blue head. I'm blue, double diba, double dee, double da. Sorry. All right, let's add another thin coat onto this guy, I think the problem I've had with painting is I have issues with being patient, and it's a shame because when you're patient, you can get really good results. Especially since I found that I'm somebody who's much more, I enjoy the painting hobby. I enjoy making the videos. That may have been too much. But, oh, okay, hold on, we're gonna thin that down a little bit. God, this is the only problem too. When you're super close, you can see all of the stuff I'm doing. For better or for worse, you know? I mean, I will be fully transparent about any mistakes I make, but it all works out in one way or another. You know, we'll add a little wash here and we'll be okay. Just don't want to eat out the details of phrasing. Do not want to disappear the details of the helmet. I feel like I definitely am losing a little bit of detail there, so maybe see if I can take that out a little bit. Oh no, it's okay. It's okay. Still wet, so we're just going to erase it. Nice and clean and easy. No panic, easy to get rid of. So this guy is it's coming together. It's coming together. How long acrylic paint can dry? You know, somebody else was asking me this, and the issue is that it's really dependent on your environment. You know, if you are in a humid climate, it can take longer to dry. If you're somewhere drier, it can go by quicker. But then also you'll notice things like with how long your brush retains moisture. And you know, I found that usually in the winter, it's in my area, it's like a lot drier, and so you have to be running a humidifier. But standard acrylics like this, you know, you should give them, I don't know, just, I need to be more patient regardless of my environment. I should really just let it sit for at least like 5-ish minutes or so before like I start applying another layer. Maybe sooner than that. That's like if you just really want to like, you really want to do a good job and you really want to take your time. And you're just focused on the painting of it. If you're just trying to get, you know, your tabletops ready, your miniatures tabletop ready and ready to play, then you might, you know, you can go faster than that. But, you know, for me, I'm trying to learn and I want to understand more of how the paint works. So we're gonna give that time to dry. But while it does that, we can actually move on to some of the blacks. So let's look at some Blood Angels, because I have a rough idea. Angels 40K. So yes, they're Aquila, they're the indents and their little hinges on the inside of their arms, like those are black. Cool. So this is all good to make sure, confirm. Oh, interesting. I thought their shoulder pads were also black. Maybe that's not true. Huh. Oh God, but I do like the goldish look. Oof. I mean, ugh. I guess there's a little bit more flexibility per se, depending on personal preferences. I mean, Joy Toy has this. God, the term. They don't all have gold. I guess it's all like a. Okay. We'll be conservative with this. We'll be conservative. Is that what it was? Oh, that's right. Let's take a look while we're here. Blood Angels 40K, 4th edition. Let's see, 4th edition. Blood Honor Box. Man, these are classic. Oh, that guy has white trim. That's interesting. Like Blood Angel Honor Guard. That's what it is. Blood Angel sergeants have black shoulder guards. Okay. I need to do some more research on this, especially since a lot of the characters in the Space Hulk box are named characters. Blood Angel sergeants have black. So, learning all these new things. Thanks, chat. Anyways, pulling out another one of my namesake paints, matte black. That David Gallagher era art, love it. All right, so we're gonna throw on our little matte black over here, and we're gonna get started on. Ooh, that's feeling liquidy smooth, and we're going to feel like I need a smaller brush for this because this is where details and control really comes in handy. Okay, so I'm going to do a thing here where I'm going to, I don't know if it's going to work. I'm trying to, yeah, okay, really brace myself here for painting as close as possible. So this is going to be a thing. The only problem is everything here is now manual focus and just requires really careful, okay, really careful. Okay, so starting with matte black, we're going to start inside out. We're going to work on the Aquila. Okay, just maybe a little lower. Heard on that. I think the gold looks really good too. But I don't know, just I kind of, for this, I think I'm going to go for this look for the Space Hulk guys. Originally, I was actually going to do a Salamander's Space Hulk team, but so much of the details on those miniatures are so Blood Angel specific. Like they have like blood symbol eyes and like it just would not have worked. I wish I could have done a conversion, but like they look so cool as is that I just want to honor those details best I can. So yeah, this must look crazy and shaky as all hell as I just, the camera itself I have is mounted on my table. So if I shake at all, you actually get, you'll actually see it do that. So I'm trying to be as steady and as controlled as possible. But the thing that's crazy is I can also see my monitor and I can see the parts of the edges where I'm missing. So it's just trying to get that a little bit edgy. Yeah, getting on that edge. God, this is not helping my OCD at all. Okay. The only thing that's tough with this is then you have to keep reloading your brush, being careful with how much you have. All right, here we go. Just don't let it, don't let it drip over into the edges, and you'll be fine. Yeah, look at that. That's what we're talking about. That's what we're talking about. Yeah, that's the good stuff. Jeez. Okay, well, I'm like getting super duper close. Okay, just gotta keep breathing through. One advantage of having this camera is that you can see what little pieces you're missing, even if you may not notice them by eye. Holy moly. Of course I'm missing a little bit here and there. Okay, let's see if I can do this properly. It's also how the light hits it. You realize, oh yeah, I missed that part. Oh, there's a little bit of the groove there where the bottom of the skull goes underneath. Oh my goodness gracious. All right, that's not bad. Okay, okay. Thank you. Yeah, ugh, yeah, but then you can see, that's okay. Because again, this is just a prototype miniature for all prototype for later on. So this is good. This is good. And if there's a little bit of mistakes there, I'm going to save my energy for when I go to the part that I really care about. Cool. Okay, so next we have to start getting these. Oh God, these. Oh God, I get it. No, that was already there. The little grooves there. Okay, so this is going to be really tricky, but we're going to go for it. This is surgical level painting, and I realize now I did get a little bit in there, so I'm going to just wipe that excess off before it cures. Okay, well let's go. Let's start from the back. The back will be the easy stuff, easier. So let's to get me to thin that down a little bit when I was cleaning the brush. Okay, let's all under a microscope. If anyone's watching and you haven't liked or subscribed, please do so. It helps support the channel and makes me want to do this more often, guys. I always appreciate anyone who stops by, you know. I always appreciate little tips and hints. This is more about my journey. I'm not here to tell y'all how best to paint, how like you should do things. I'm somebody who is very much figuring things out as I go. And while I do know there are some things, I do have the confidence to know that there are some things I know I do well. I know I still have a lot to work on. So it's all about sharing your ideas, you know, building the community, and it's all about the friends you made along the way. So we'll give a little bit. So tight. Oh God, did I get it? Oh my God. Oh yeah, 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 yeah. Not bad. Getting there. Okay, so I guess now that that's dried a bit more, let's dig in. This is where things continue to get tricky. I don't even know if I'll be able to film this correctly, but we'll see what happens. I'm going to try to do it. I need to record this because if this works out. Am I recording? Hold on. Yeah, okay. Because this is shareable content, right? Getting like that super obnoxious, close, tight shot, share it on the social medias. Oh my God. Okay. I know. I'm trying my best not to hold it. This is something that also affects it when you're trying to basically paint while also trying to film, which, you know, mixed success. Okay, hold on. I might just have to clean up I might have to clean up that red a little bit. That's fine. Yeah, I'll have to clean that up, but that's okay because this is underneath the miniature, and that's okay. Hold on. There it is. Great. So now we have the other side, that little guy. And I gotta get that off the growing plate. Cool. Oh, and then we have that little thing too. Okay. All right, here goes nothing. Oh God, it's just like getting the right angle. Ugh, messy, messy, messy. It's fine. Oh, thank God. And then this is the easiest bit. Doctor, doctor, give me the news. I got a hot case. Don't mind me while I sing some 80s tunes. Is that 80s? I sing when I'm nervous. All right. Yeah. Great. Okay. I mean, that's something. Let's look on the back here. Let's give a little bit more love to this. We're gonna give a little bit more. Yeah, here we go. That's the ticket. And then we'll give that a little bit more. Tilt that up a little bit. Okay, cool. That's a good start. Let's open it up a little bit. I'm going to change some colors so I'm not stressing myself out too much. All right, cool. Okay, that blue is looking pretty good. So I think now I'm going to add my black wash business again. Still have some left over. I'm going to add a little bit more just to be safe. Have my black wash from Pro Acryl. I can breathe a little bit more now, thankfully. So there was a point where when I was thinking about doing this, where I was like, oh, should I maybe I'll do a 24-hour stream. Maybe it'll be great. And I got to tell you, oh my goodness, I forget how exhausting and tiring it is to sit and paint. So I am really enjoying this, and I hope you guys are too. Are you getting something out of it, even if it's just me talking about life, my shenanigans, trying new things? Life is good, guys. So, all right, so we got that good black wash. Let's add it in on. Again, like a film. I think we're hitting that grim, dark aesthetic we were talking about before. Cool. All right, so we're gonna let that guy dry for a bit. Now we're gonna go back to our Tyranid Gene Stealer proxy. I think the glaze did a pretty decent job. It's hard because of I'm gonna turn down the brightness on this so you can see a little better because it just makes it too shiny. So I think this worked out pretty well-ish. So now we're gonna add the we're going to add Gary's suggestion, which was a bright purple glaze. Okay, bright purple glaze. So we're going to do bright purple. What do I got here? Purple Alchemy, which is a strong pink. We have Moonlight Coral, which is a strong reddish purple. Possibly. They're not like no good straight purples. Strong reddish purple, maybe. Or there's also very light purple. You know what? Screw it. We're going to try using pastel lavender, a very light purple. We're going to try something new. Here we go. And we're going to, again, mix this up a little bit with some speed paint medium to create a bit more of a glaze. Because like pastel lavender, like it feels very pigmented. It feels like it's it feels very like it would very easily cover up anything underneath it. So we're going to add our speed paint medium. Wunderbar. We're going to mix this up a little bit. And we're going to see what we can come up with. God, that is so thick. So much more thicker than I imagined. We're going to just add a lot of medium to that. See if we can get that to do what we want it to do. Okay. Let's give it a go. Where are you? Okay. Here we go. We're going to add that glaze we talked about. Chat, let me know if you like being able to see this level of detail. If it's a little too crazy, I can switch back to the other lens. I'm always down to hear what y'all think. I mean, you get to see more of like what's going on from a chemical and consistency standpoint, which I think is interesting, but it can also be a little chaotic. So I understand if it's not the preferred look, but let me know. It's a great lens for when you're editing, because then you can jump out of all the really tight shots. But it's okay. I think it might require some more work inevitably, but something. Yeah, you can see the lines and everything there too, which is, you know, from a distance it's okay, but seeing up close is not always the most palatable. Yeah, I think I'm going to switch to the other lens actually, because I'm realizing how exhausting it is using this thing. I'm going to turn this off, and we're going to switch the other lens. Yeah, here we go, and swoop. So. Cool. Thank you for attending my paint workshop on lenses. Yeah, it's like it's really cool to see. I think just because I'm thinking about the longevity of myself for tonight, I'm going to put it down for a little bit. But it needs to be. I think I need to get it more eye level, so that way I'm not constantly trying to adjust. So maybe tomorrow, if I jump back into the stream, I will do this again. I will revamp the lens a little bit more. Until then, though, oh, did this turn off? Oh, okay. There you go. Oof. Okay. So now we're gonna take a moment and we're gonna go back to our 30K salamander that we're playing around with. Yeah, so Wait, what? I didn't hit record. The fudge? Oh, interesting. Hold on. Okay. Whew, okay. Whew. Oh, my shoulders. I'm gonna actually watch this, everybody. Let's raise the standing desk slightly. Oh, hey, eyes on eyes. My eyes are over here. Okay. Join. Let's get this focus up. There we go. Okay, so I'm going to build the highlights. I'm going to build so much highlights over this. So going over to my greens, I'm going to pull over some of my deep greens and build up on that a little bit. I don't know if I'm going to use anything from vibrant greens, so I think that might be a little too much. But we're going to. I'm gonna add a little bit of Ooh, I dropped. Was it head? No. Okay. I'm gonna use a little bit of my my wild green, which is the no. That's I don't want to go. I want to go darker first. Wait, did I only grab the vibrance? Hold on. This is why I have to organize things every night, because when I pick them up, I end up losing them. So, got to be very careful. So, I have the deep greens triad. Check out my shorts if you want to see how they all dry. But, It is interesting to see the difference here of like the deep greens and then the algae, because it definitely plays where I did the slap chop, the gray and the whites, and you can see like how it ended up playing well, but it's a bit of a darker green than I would normally use, which is fine because again, this is the 30K salamander colors, but I want to try and bring it up a little bit. Eyes over here. And let's go with the I'm going to start with green skin. I think that'll be fun. It's October. I don't have any orcs. I wish I could paint one because it is October, but we'll do the next best thing. Green skin. Here we go. I'm going to get rid of my handy palette here. And we're going to go to back to the wet palette. Just need to re-up a little bit on the moisture. Again, great $3 tool. Giving it all a nice little shake. Okay, and we're gonna go with try some orc skin. It's gonna be great. It's gonna be great, guys. I'm gonna grab a bigger brush. Let's go with, I don't want number 4. Yeah, let's try number 2. So number 2, keep that brush nice and wet. So I'm gonna try and really start with thin layers on this. So it's gonna be very light. And yeah, we're gonna take time with this because I want to try some new things. Even that might be too much. Okay, let's try that. So we're gonna try very light kind of things. Stop. And then we're gonna do the same over here. Pushing towards what will be presumably the highlight. I'm gonna work on that. It's fine. And yeah, it's gonna dry more subtly, but it just takes a little bit of time. The olive greens triad matches the algae green speed paint. The olive greens. I don't have the olive greens yet. What's this? We recommend you use an audio. I'm getting like a thing from YouTube saying that my bit rate is 0, which I hope is not. Oh, that was a mistake. Olive greens. That's actually something I need to get next. I do not have that triad, so that is something that I will be getting at some point in the future. But that's good to know. You know, maybe this is like, maybe the inspiration behind this is that it started with 30K, but then the salamander. This is the color progression. This is how they progressed from 30K salamanders color scheme to inevitably 40K. So maybe this is what's happening here. It's a little intentional. Seems, a little lore kind of building, Could be a fun way to think about it. I like it. So let me know if you guys are dropping if you're getting any drops in signal. It says that it keeps going to 0 bit rate at a moment, and then it says excellent connection. So let me know if there's anything. I'm also going to bring this in so you get a little bit more. Okay, bring this up. Okay, there we go. Just giving you a little extra fill of color so you can see what's happening. Still too thick. I know I should be using my palette, but I just end up doing that anyway. Ooh, I'm starting to feel my shoulders now too. So this does take time when you build it up like this, because this is like when you really gotta like wait for things to dry, because it's gonna look so different thinned to when it dries. But that's how you get like more subtle transitions, and that's something I have a bit of trouble with. Again, it's about patience, but that's like how you get to the next level of painting. And even then, I can see like I think I may have let the paint get too dry. I can see it being a little cracking, but we'll work on that. We will work on that. Nice. Oh, forgot to turn off my air compressor. Okay, so let's try this again. So if we yeah, jeez. That was just, it hasn't running in an hour. And so hearing it scared the crap out of me. Oh my goodness. Cool. Okay, so something I gotta. Just a little closer here so we can need a little bit more light on that. So we're gonna let that take a second. Let's go back to our handy dandy Blood Angel, who is coming along nicely. I'm digging the look we got of him. You know, I added the black wash, which I think it's a little TMNT. Yeah, it's a little. Yeah, you're right. It is a little bit Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Fair point. Very fair point. The question is, where do I want to take this guy? So, ultramarine blue. So in this one, I should probably go with. I'm still here, guys. I'm just taking a look at I'm taking more paints off the shelf, making another mess, bigger mess. Baron blue. All right. Baron blue is the next step from Ultramarines blue. So we're going to, actually, no, we should actually, since we've added the wash, I'm going to add some fresh, a little bit of a fresh layer of the blue, where it will be, you know, a little bit. I'm gonna get that a little bit wetter. I'm gonna add some of that fresh blue. They'll be brighter, and then we'll continue to add to it. So here goes a little bit of nothing. Not bad. It kind of works. Okay, well, that's doing things. Give that another moment to dry, and while that's going, let's take a look at our Gene Stealer friend, our Tyranid Gene Stealer. I think the glaze, I can see some of the work that glaze did. It's still not as smooth transitions as I would have liked, but it's I think it works well. if I was like had to do a batch of Tyranids, this would be an easy way to get a lot of these guys painted. Obviously, I gotta make the claws black, but it's not the worst thing in the world. Now let's do that, because then we can at least have a completed miniature, which would be kind of cool. So go into our black. And here we go. How's it going there, Maddie? Having a good night? Okay. Make the little hooves black as well. As well as the little dew claws. I guess they're called dew claws on Tyranids as well. Tyranid dew claws. You know, that works. I'm stoked about this. I was a little nervous about how I was going to I could handle the gene stealers, but like this is a it's a nice look. Not really if the dogs are here. You know what? I'm missing having a dog right now. We had our foster last week. Fortunately, because Sassafras is away for the week, it was hard for me to manage the dog alone because of if I had a job interview or something came up, I obviously need to not be home. So unfortunately, we had to give our foster to the next person to watch, but she was lovely. Very cute dog. A little bit of separation anxiety. Oh, like the camera has. Well, the camera doesn't have any issues with separation anxiety. But I miss her. Her name was Julia. I hope we get to see her again. If she's still not adopted, we'll see what happens. Things may happen. She was a very sweet dog to have. But yeah, I think this guy, for all intents and purposes, I'm going to say is kind of done. Again, I'll perfect some more of the transitions and highlights in the future, but I think this is a great test model. Okay. We're doing battery. Okay, great. So let's go back to our Blood Angel friend. Let's see how he's looking. Not looking bad. Okay. We're gonna build up on the next layer of blue, which is gonna be with Baron Blue. Oh, what did I get? Oh no, okay, it's okay. Nothing crazy, nothing to see here, guys. Nothing to see here, folks. Just some minor bluish, another minor blue. We're gonna go with my small brush. So we're gonna go with my 2-0, and we're gonna start like highlighting a little bit of the helmet because I don't want to muss it up too much with trying to do let's see, just aqua. Too many paints, guys. Too many paints. Okay, here we go. So we're gonna be very tight with this. Okay, subtle enough. All right, here goes nothing, friends. Get that really, really, really subtle action. God, it's so close. Tough because I kind of want it to be drier so I can just catch it at certain angles while not worrying about it dripping in other places. But it's really, really tricky. But it's coming along. Okay, so whew, okay. God. Hold your breath, everybody. This is hard to be entertaining while focusing on this, but oh my goodness gracious. Hey, Gary, thanks again for all your help and suggestions. Have a wonderful evening, and thanks for stopping by and contributing so much. Have a wonderful night, and hopefully we'll catch you again sometime. That's something. That's something indeed. Like, it's not as neat as I would like it to be, but it's not also the worst. Come on, get that focus. I don't mind that. I don't mind this at all. And then I can actually bring back a little bit of the blue up there. Let's clean it up a little bit. Just a scotch. Okay. Very good. Oh my goodness. You know what, guys? I feel like a lot of good progress was made. I made a lot of good decisions about where I need to go next with a couple of my paints. But I think I might call it for the evening. But this has been absolutely lovely. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. be sure to like, subscribe, you know, watch some more of my videos, share them. The more people see them, the more like feedback I get, the more excitement and more content I'll be able to put out there. So thanks again so much for watching. Again, hopefully I can do more of this again soon, maybe even tomorrow, depending on my energy level. But thank you again so much for watching, and maybe we'll make some more progress on these guys. Regardless, I'm excited about this color scheme I'm working on for Blood Angels. I'm excited what I have for the Gene Stealers, and of course, I'm still working on my Salamanders, which I think are going to be really cool when I can eventually get to them. Thank you very much for a lovely evening, and I'll catch you guys on the flip side. Bye! Now I just need to awkwardly stop the stream. How do I do this? End stream. Bye!